Joe Walker, Anthony Anderson.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, brother? My apologies about my tardiness, man. I completely forgot. Shit, it's Friday, and the sun is shining in L.A.
Dude, I'm sitting at the airport watching planes, waiting for my turn, looking at the...
Where you at?
Michigan.
Oh, okay. Where you headed?
Georgia.
What's going on in Georgia?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that.
Well, I hope you enjoy a little of that and a little of that.
Attention passengers, this is your captain speaking, the Word Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, and welcome to this podcast brought to you by ThisENT.com, Proven Esports Group, 517 Barbecue, and Grand Kai Gaming. Make sure you check out Grand Kai on his Twitch channel at twitch.com/Grand Kai Gaming. Does tournaments every weekend called Ultimate Warrior. Been running Rocket League. The response has been tremendous. Loads of fun. The action's great. If you want to be a part of it, sign up. It's 2 versus 2. Again, check out his channel, Grand Kai Gaming on Twitch. That's twitch.com/Grand Kai Gaming. And we're glad that you all are back here for this podcast. Hope you enjoyed the first episode. You just got done hearing a little brief snippet of a conversation I had with actor and producer Anthony Anderson. We have an interview with him that's up on ThisENT.com right now where he answered questions from fans. It's a great piece. Check it out. Loads of fun. Some great insight into his acting career and some of the things that he's done and how he felt about some of the roles he's been a part of and he's been able to portray. And just piggybacking off of our previous episode where we talked about our 300th post on ThisENT.com since December of 2019. Here we are. Since the recording of that episode, we have surpassed 400. Another milestone. And we thank you all for the support. But moving forward into the future, that's what we're looking at. What are we going to continue to bring you on ThisENT.com that's going to engage you, that's going to encourage you, and that's going to entertain you? If you've been on the site and you've looked around, you've been able to see, our 5 weekly columns with Shining Example on Monday, A Good Question on Tuesday, Above and Beyond on Wednesday, A Paragraphs on Thursday, and Character Study on Friday. And let's stick with that. Let's stick with character study. We just did Hair Jordan, which was the character that kind of inspired the movie Space Jam. There was a commercial with Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny where Bugs Bunny became Hair Jordan. Him and Jordan teamed up together to play some basketball, some playground basketball. It's a classic commercial. But that commercial inspired Warner Brothers to move forward. They made the movie, Space Jam. But, what are some of the characters that you enjoyed, that inspired you, or some things that you saw from characters that you feel are classic, that you'd want to see some more insight about? And, we would love to write about that stuff and put it on our website as we continue to move forward, again, into the future. We're moving toward 500 pieces now, which is tremendous. We have a small team, and just since December of 2019, we've been able to post, more than 400 pieces of content, be it written, being our 5 weekly columns, tons of video, especially esports stuff, the gaming tournaments, Fight Night Proven, the weekly stuff, Ultimate Warrior. We want your insight. What entertains you? So we're sticking with character study, which is our morning column on Friday, every morning at 8 a.m. And we've been able to talk about a number of great characters. Again, Hair Jordan is the previous one. But who are some of the characters that you would like to see? So I started thinking about that, especially after this conversation, with Anthony Anderson, the fan interview, and some of the questions pertaining to the characters he's portrayed, like Antoine Mitchell from The Shield. a pivotal role for him, and very much outside what people consider to be his box. He does a lot of comedy. We all know him for doing comedy. He's funny. As you heard in the clip in the beginning, he's got one of the most iconic and unique laughs in all of entertainment. If you hear that laugh, you know who it is. You know it's Anthony Anderson. Very signature. But thinking about that character of Antoine Mitchell on The Shield, like that would be a good character study to really just dig into that character. But again, who are some of the characters, that you would like to see? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media. You can find this ENT on social media, on all social media at this ENT1. That's THISENT and the number 1. Just let us know. Send us a message. Again, respond in the comments. Let us know who are some of the characters that you'd like to see us do character studies on. I was talking to, one of our friends and associates, Presidential Poe, Mr. Ruben Ramon, looking for some suggestions for characters. Now, he has one of the most incredible collections of music there is, but he's also very much into popular culture. So he has this vast array of movies and comic books. So he's very much into characters. So we were having a discussion about, he enjoys the column. Who are some of the characters, he would like to see is what we were discussing. I was talking to him about it. He brought up some interesting ones. And, some of those, I don't want to mention them right now, but I'm just going to say some of those you're probably going to see appear in the column. But the point being, we want to hear from you. We want to know what characters you'd like to see. And here's one that I've been thinking about doing now. Grand Kai and I, we touched on the 35th anniversary of Super Mario and his impact on culture, his cultural impact. We did that on an episode of the Moves List, which you can check out. It's in our video section. Just click videos or just go in the search bar and type in Moves List and you'll find that episode where he and I talked about the cultural impact of Super Mario. But the character of Mario has been around 3.5 decades, and that character has appeared in so many different games, and not just the Super Mario series of games. We've seen him I remember how excited my cousins and I were to see him as the referee in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. My cousin Keith and I, we used to watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. We loved that cartoon. Again, to see Mario and his adventures in the Mushroom Kingdom animated, and to see Luigi and the Princess and Toad and those personalities, come to life on the screen with the late great Captain Lou Albano playing Super Mario. That was a big deal. And again, that goes back to our childhood, showing how much impact he had already. That was 25 plus years ago. The Super Mario game series was still fairly new. Not everyone had really caught on. While it was a phenomenon amongst gamers, but into popular culture, I think you saw that happen more by the time Super Mario Brothers 3 was released. By that time, it was definitely a cultural phenomenon. I remember the commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3 when the game was set for release, and you saw people all around the world chanting Mario's name as the camera scrolled up into the sky, and you see a picture of the Earth with Mario's face on it. Very symbolic. But again, here's this character who means so much to so many. And he's appeared in so many different places in the past 35 years. There's so much excitement for the new Paper Mario game that's about to be released for the Nintendo Switch that Nintendo just recently announced. The Paper Mario and the Origami King. They're introducing a new villain into the Mario pantheon of characters and games. This Origami King taking over the Mushroom Kingdom. And fans have been wanting this for a long time now, and they're very excited about future announcements coming from Nintendo associated with Super Mario and the 35th anniversary. And here's the first in that line of games, this new Paper Mario. I was just recently going through my own collection of games and came across, Super Paper Mario 4 for the Nintendo Wii. And I'm thinking I never finished this game. The game is so fun. I like the fact that you can alter the perspective of the game, how it can go from side scrolling to 3D. You can switch it. That was a very unique option to have on the game, to be able to do that on the fly, which opens up so many different possibilities as far as how to play the game and how you get through stages on the game. I've enjoyed the Paper Mario series, that one being my favorite, but I never finished the game. So I was just thinking, I need to go back and finish this game so I can see how it concludes, the ending, all the things that you look forward to when you're playing the game, getting to the end, finishing the game. And here comes this new one. So anyway, Super Mario, his impact, the importance of that character is definitely one that would make a good character study. And maybe I go a few different places than, Grand Kai and I went, with our episode of Moves List, look into some different places where Mario has been significant. But there's 3.5 decades worth. That's a lot to talk about. So many different stories, so many different ways we could go. And again, let us know, what characters you'd like to see for us to talk about in that column on Friday at 8 a.m., the character study. Which brings me to another character. Last year at the Geek Expo, we had the honor and the privilege of meeting Renee Jacobs, who was the original voice of April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons of the 90s that changed a lot of lives of a lot of youth and a lot of adults too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was loved across the board. I don't think it really mattered your age. Kids loved it. Like grade school age kids, teenagers, high schoolers, college students, adults, working class. Everybody loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there was no doubt, especially if you were involved in journalism, that you were impacted by April O'Neil. Because April O'Neil, she was about telling the real story. And she was in a profession where, because she was a woman, she was not respected. Like, you look back on that cartoon now and the way she was treated by her boss, it was ridiculous. But that happens, and that happened. But she fought back. She didn't just kind of curl up and be like, okay. No, April fought back. April was vocal. And we got to have that conversation with Renee Jacobs. You can check out the video presentation of the interview if you go into our video section or go into our interviews section on thisent.com. You can check that out. That was actually our very first post, which is the significance of where I'm going right now with this discussion about these characters and about this ENT surpassing 400 posts on this website since December and moving forward into our future and continuing to bring you content that's all things entertainment. That's where we started. We started with her in that character, April O'Neil. And if you haven't seen that interview, we would appreciate it if you watch it and enjoy it and share it. But right now, we like to play that interview for you in its entirety. We want you to enjoy it and think about what's being said in this interview in association to the character and the character's impact, whether it impacted you, impacted someone you know, and maybe you're one of those people who haven't yet experienced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of that era, and it's something you've been curious about, and it's an opportunity for you to check them out and be invited to check them out from us and from the person who was the voice of one of the main characters on the show. So again, we thank you for visiting thisent.com, for listening to this episode of this podcast brought to you by thisent.com, Proven Esports Group, 517 Barbecue, and Grand Kai Gaming. Make sure you follow us on all social media at thisent1. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joe Walker. Make sure you follow Grand Kai at Grand Kai1 and visit twitch.com/Grand Kai Gaming every weekend for the Ultimate Warrior tournaments. And we do hope you enjoy this interview with Renee Jacobs, the voice of April O'Neil. The voice of April O'Neil, I never would have thought. And that character definitely impacted my life. This is the Word Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, at the Get Geek Expo in Lansing, Michigan, at the Lansing Center. Proven Game Tournament is coming up, but right now I am standing here with Renee Jacobs, the voice of April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Lord, I feel like a kid again. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a great time here in Lansing, Michigan.
And I heard a rumor that you're actually from Lansing. Is that true?
Well, I was born in Chicago, but I actually came here when I was 2 years old. Grew up in East Lansing, Michigan. White Hills, woohoo!
So tell us what it was like being April.
It was amazing. I have had the best time being April because I got to work with some of the most talented people in the business. Rob Paulson, Cam Clark, Barry Gordon, Townsend Coleman, the amazing Pat Fraley, of course James Avery, and Peter Renaday, and so many other people guest starred. It was a great 9 years, and it's so rewarding because people still remember the Ninja Turtles and tell me stories about how it affected their lives. We had no idea.
I have a few.
Yeah?
Can I tell one now?
You may, please do.
Okay, check this out. Perfect opportunity for me to tell this story. So when I was in 6th grade, I think, if I remember right, 6th grade.
About 10 years ago.
You're too kind. I don't sleep much. And when I sleep, I don't sleep long. So I woke up one morning about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a Saturday. And I usually get up and watch this cartoon called Robotech. Robotech just didn't come on this Saturday. This cartoon called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came on. It was awesome. Your voice was in it.
Every episode.
And I went to school Monday and told all my classmates about it, and they swore on the Bible I was lying, that I made it up. It was not a real thing. And like less than a month later, Ninja Turtles was the hottest thing in America.
So you know your stuff.
I do.
You can see a good thing when you spot it.
I think so.
Yeah. Started early.
Kinda. What's been your favorite part about doing that voice?
Well, aside from being able to be involved in an iconic show for 9 years, I think my very, very favorite part of it is actually doing Comic-Cons because I get to meet the fans and I get to hear about how the show affected their lives. We had no idea. I think being turtles and being mutant and being different and being outcast played to the heart of so many people. You know, we all think we're the ones that are the outcasts, but everybody feels that way. Everyone feels that they're not good enough or they're not popular enough. And it helped people get through very difficult times. And we just had no idea. And by doing these Comic-Cons, I've just gained a whole new appreciation for the fans and for the show itself. And I'm really proud of the work that we did. It gave a lot of people the courage to overcome great difficulties.
Tell us about the evolution of the character, because at first she was just more of a damsel in distress, and then as the series progressed, you got in on the action more. So, what was your thought on that? Just how the character changed over the years?
Oh, thank you for saying that, because early on in my career, I did a lot of shows like Moondreamers and My Little Pony and Strawberry Shortcake and Rose Petal Place, and they were all
little characters with funny little voices, and they didn't do very much except run around.
And April did evolve. Now, it was the sign of the times, but it was also the strength, I hope, of what I brought to the character. I've had a lot of young women come up to me doing Comic-Con saying, "You gave me the courage to go into the military, become a nurse, become a teacher." I think that women in that era were not encouraged to do things out of a certain confine. And I'm really glad April gave them that strength. I hope that part of that came from me, because that was what I wanted to bring to the character, and I was lucky enough that the writers and the director put her in that direction. But our director was Sue Blue, a woman, one of the first female animation directors. There was Andrea Romano and Jenny Higgins and a few others, but these were pioneers in this field of directing. So I hope they brought it into that direction too.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people overlook about April O'Neil and why the character resonates with me is because she worked in the media, and she worked in the media in an era where it was so male dominated, and she didn't give in to that. She was very opinionated. She was very upfront about everything, and she did the stories that she felt was important and not what she was told was important for a woman in that role.
Just like me.
So now that you're back in Lansing, tell us some of the stuff you want to do here before you leave.
Well, I've actually gone back to my neighborhood. I'm here visiting my very best friend, and we went to go see my first house. We went to go see the places that I knew and remembered as a child, and of course things have changed, but my house is still there, and a lot of reminiscing. It's really a lovely town. Really enjoying it.
Lansing has changed a lot because Classic Group is here now.
Ding!
And we're going to make it fun.
Well, thank you very much for stopping and interviewing me, and I wish you all the best with your show.
This is seriously one of the coolest moments for me as a writer, somebody who's been involved in media for 2 decades. I've met a lot of people that I never thought I would have ever met. Al Jarreau, Shaka Khan, the list goes on, but the voice of April O'Neil, I never would have thought. And that character definitely impacted my life. So this is really cool.
Well, let me close you out. How about that?
All right, I'm gonna back off.
Thanks, everyone. This is April O'Neil from Channel 6 News. Bye-bye.
Thank you for checking out the ThisENT.com podcast, and make sure you visit ThisENT.com regularly for all things entertainment.